The Target 12 investigators are learning new details about the request of an admitted killer who wants to get out of prison. Gregory Floyd admitted he shot two people execution style as they begged for their lives.
Now he's asking for a compassionate release from a federal prison in North Carolina. Target 12 investigator Tim White's been looking into the case and is here now with what he's learned.
Family members of the victim say they felt broadsided when they learned of the release request and have been in the dark about the process. Now we know a 30-day clock is ticking for the warden to make a decision.
20 years ago this June, Jason Bergeson and Amy Shute were carjacked at random in Providence. 5 men took part in the crime, driving the victims to a Johnston golf course. Gregory Floyd later admitted he gunned them down.
The heartless way that he killed them with them on the ground. They were crying, blindfolded. They were begging for their life.
Jason's sister Kelly Bergeson Curtis says the family received this letter on Friday telling them they had until Tuesday to mail back a letter to the North Carolina prison where Floyd is housed if they objected to his early release.
There was a lot of things that were done inappropriately and handled inappropriately. The victims, we have rights too.
The letter does not say the reason behind Floyd's request. Compassionate releases were expanded under the First Step Act, which President Trump signed into law in December 2018. A Bureau of Prison spokesperson tells Target 12 412 inmates have been granted early release since the law passed.
The death penalty was on the table for this case. He pled guilty to avoid the death penalty.
A BOP spokesperson says the federal judge who sentenced Floyd would have to agree to his early release if the warden grants the request.
What's your message to the warden?
My message to the warden would be, please do not grant compassionate release for this monster.
Kelly tells me she and her mother sent letters overnight to the prison, but they're worried they won't get there in time. The question now is, when did that 30-day clock start ticking for the warden to make a decision? A BOP spokesperson did not yet respond to a request about timing. With the Target 12 investigators, Tim White, Eyewitness News.